Hello, everyone. My name is Gavin Alsop. I am here to talk to you today about a recent study that I conducted. We all have an activity or sport of choice which we do to keep ourselves happy and healthy, and I'm sure that when you are actively engaged in such, you have a general awareness of what goes on in the industry. I am here today to discuss an issue within the industry of my passion, skateboarding. In the skateboarding industry, there is currently an issue regarding a lack of inclusivity of diverse folks. I have done extensive research into the issue and have found feasible solutions to improve this issue. But before I get into that, let me give you some background. At the present, the skateboarding industry has been and continues to be dominated by white heterosexual men. For instance, take a look over on the right here at the image above. We see Mike Sinclair, the team manager of Nike Skateboarding, the epitome of the white man. The issue at hand is that this white heterosexual male domination with the industry is not representative of the entire skateboarding community as a whole. As a matter of fact, skateboarding is an incredibly diverse and broad group of people. And the issue at hand is without representation for these individuals that do not necessarily conform to the white male hegemonic norms, there's resulting disenfranchisement, alienation, and harassment. However, do not take my word for it. As you can see, I am a white male. I was lucky enough to be able to interview one of the top female professional skateboarders in the sport, Nora Vasconcelos, as well as a top queer skateboarder named Jeffrey Chiang from San Francisco, who is the founder of Unity Skateboarding. As you can see from this quotation from my interview with Nora, there has been a lot of disenfranchisement within history for female skateboarders because there were none within the industry. As I said before, most of the jobs held in the skateboard industry are by white men, so a lot of women do not feel as though they even have a chance at being involved within the industry because they don't see anyone like themselves involved with it. The same could be said for Jeffrey Chung. Jeffrey Chung is a gay skateboarder, and the lack of queer representation within the skateboarding industry is honestly very alarming to him because as a result, he has been faced with a lot of harassment for who he is. For further research upon the issue, I watched the documentary Not Just a Game, Power Politics in American Sports, read an article by a sports business journal entitled Where is the Industry Now?, and read a page published by the NCAA discussing effective mental health strategies for queer athletes within the college athlete field. In Not Just a Game, there is a discussion about how the effects sports and athletes have upon social and political issues. Henceforth, representation of diverse folks is very much so needed in order to perpetuate acceptance of athletes and just diverse folks in a general sense in society. Whereas the industry now discusses the lack of representation in sports industries for diverse folks, and a lot of it is drawn connections to issues with culture and promotion of inclusive culture. And then the NCAA discussed the issues regarding harassment for LGBTQ athletes. So, based on much of the research I've conducted regarding the effects of lack of inclusion for skateboarders and relative athletes in other sports industries, my findings have come up with 3 umbrella effective feasible solutions for correcting the issue of a lack of inclusion. The first being measurement. In measurement, I mean a quantitative gauging of representation of folks within the industry. So a literal kind of survey of how many people are involved of diverse backgrounds within an industry. The second is promotion. Promotion of inclusion includes inclusive advertisements, so the representation of varying ethnic, queer, and gender identities in advertisement. Sponsorship of diverse athletes. This is a very big one, especially in the skateboarding industry. A lot of professional skateboarders tend to adhere to that white hegemonic male model, whereas if you begin to sponsor athletes of varying ethnic, queer, and gender identity, you're going to be able to see more representation for those groups within the community. And there is an emphasis on centering the experiences of diverse individuals because everyone is well aware of the experience of the white male skateboarder, but no one knows what the experience of the black trans female skateboarder is. Lastly is culture. So when we talk about culture, we're discussing more so workplace culture because we're discussing an issue of inclusiveness within the industry. So there needs to be a creation of tolerant and inclusive workplaces, respect to varying needs of employees and guests, and non-hostile rhetoric and design within these environments. There is a lot to be done in fostering a more inclusive environment within the skateboarding industry. However, we have feasible solutions to doing so, which are at work in other sports industries. I feel that the implementation of these solutions is necessary because the skateboarding community is so beautiful and broad. The industry should be reflective of that amazing diversity. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. I hope that we can create a skateboard industry that truly represents us all.